Chicago Cub fans, we just can't make this up. You can't make this up. Mm. Every year, every year since I've been on this channel, which is 2 years now, every year I have gotten myself excited about the potential of the deals that the Chicago Cubs could make, about the offers, about the people that they could potentially sign. Um, and for these 2 seasons that I've been a part of this channel, most of those deals have not happened. Now, they swung out of left field and got Kyle Tucker last year. The year before that, like I said, they didn't really do anything that was too major. So, in my time as host of Chicago Cubs Central, I tweeted out earlier today. I tweeted out I do not understand how every single year I get my hopes up that the Chicago Cubs are going to do something major that will impact this team for years to come and hopefully, help this team be world champions again like they were in 2016. No doubt today, folks, the Chicago Cubs took a step backwards in that the Chicago Cubs were unwilling to go outside of their comfort zone to match the annual average value on a contract for Tatsuya Imai. One of the most coveted pitchers this offseason is now a Houston Astro. 3 years for his deal. Cubs were unwilling to do that deal. Now, again, the hope is that the Chicago Cubs saw something maybe that they didn't like also, and maybe these reports will come out as well. But as of right now, the only thing that we know, the only reason why the Chicago Cubs did not go for this deal, this contract with Tatsuya Imai, was because of the annual average value of the contract. The Cubs did not want to do that. This is laughable. Laughable. This is a steal for the Houston Astros, who now do not need Framber Valdez anymore. They have someone in Tatsuya Imai who very well could fill his shoes and then some. There are free agents that are still out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know a lot of people believe, it was Amaya or bust for the Chicago Cubs this season. But, there are still a lot of free agents out there. There are still a lot of opportunities out there to sign players. So I don't want to necessarily get hung up on that. What I'm more so upset about is the failure from this organization to budge on money. This was a cheap deal, a steal, if you will, for 3 years with multiple opt-outs that he did with the Houston Astros. This is not some type of crazy deal where you're getting over $100 million and you're invested long-term in this guy. This was a steal of a contract. 9 times out of 10, if he pitches well, he'll opt out after his first year. And the Chicago Cubs had every opportunity to make this same type of deal. But instead, they didn't. And we, once again, as Cub fans, are left wondering just what in the hell this team is going to do. What is our direction? Where are we going? At this point, guys, I think the Chicago Cubs are okay with running the team that they have. Now, again, I'll still do the videos hyping up the different rumors and things that we hear out there, like the Bo Bichette thing is now the big deal. Since Tatsuya Imai is off the table now, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Cubs have all checked in on Bo Bichette. Cool, whatever. There's still Alex Bregman out there. There's still Kyle Tucker out there. Cool. I guess at this point, I am becoming what I have sincerely tried the hardest not to be in doing this channel, is become one of those people that literally say, like, this is the rumor, but I doubt it happens. And the sad part in this is that these aren't crazy pie in the sky deals that can't happen. It's the refusal of the organization to make these deals happen. The Chicago Cubs don't budge on their deal making. They don't budge on what they're deciding to do. It's either their way or no way. And Cub fans aren't happy, as you shouldn't be. Let your voice be heard down below. Air it all out. It's crazy because I have so much optimism around the Chicago Cubs, and I love this team so much. But every single time I get excited, like, okay, like, well, yeah, we missed on that pitcher, but I think the Chicago Cub focus is all the way on Tatsuya Imai. The Cubs focus, I'm going to be real with y'all. This front office's focus is not on any one particular player. It's just not. And I don't want to keep leading you guys down a rabbit hole thinking that, oh, yeah, well, the Cubs are definitely in on this piece. The Cubs are in on a lot of different players. But what does in actually mean? In actually means, hey, I picked up the phone and I called and I said, hey, how much are you asking for this player? Oh, that's just way too much out of our price zone. Oh, well, we had meetings with this player's representation. Oh, no. The average and the years are way out of what we're trying to spend right now. The Chicago Cubs trying to stay underneath that first tax apron, and as well as trying to, save money for the quote unquote middle of the season around the trade deadline, is the same stuff that we've heard over and over and over again. And quite frankly, y'all, it's old. I thought when the Chicago Cubs signed Craig Counsell to a deal that we were moving towards winning a World Series. We're not. We're moving towards trying to be competitive. And as long as the Chicago Cubs are competitive, the stands will be filled. People will go to games. We'll have fun seasons, but a World Series will escape us. And that's just the honest truth. Jed Hoyer is dead set on seeing this thing through with Matt Shaw, Owen Casey, Moises Ballesteros. The kids will play this year. I mean, that just is what it is. I do not, at this point, see the Chicago Cubs signing another big free agent. Will I still, do episodes about them? Sure. But at this point, I do not see the Chicago Cubs signing another free agent. Or at least not another big name free agent of worth. Not a closer and not a big bat. Everything is coming from within. They would just as soon rather keep the rest of that $36 million if a deal isn't there for them that they don't like. And that's just the honest to God truth. They like what they have. They've paid the money that they believe in, and they want to see these rookies through. They want to see what Matt Shaw brings in year 2, how he progresses. A full season not being sent back down to AAA. They want to see what Owen Casey can do. They want to see what Moises Ballesteros can do in a full year. These are going to be the players for the Chicago Cubs. The only way that we will see the Chicago Cubs sign someone like an Alex Bregman, sign someone like a Kyle Tucker, is if they come way down in their price range or nobody else wants them. But is that really anything to get excited about? This front office giving us leftovers? Whoop-de-doo. Or trading for a player for one season? They're going to go sign Zach Gallen? Zach Gallen? I mean, I'm not. Zach Gallen is a fine pitcher. He'll do all right for the Cubs. People will kind of get him and Dansby Swanson mixed up a little bit, but that's okay. Zach wears glasses. Dansby doesn't. Zach pitches. Dansby doesn't. But outside of that, that doesn't tip us in the scale in the favor of beating the Dodgers. Honestly, adding just Zach Gallen doesn't tip us in the favor of winning the division. Now, we'll be a wild card team probably unless some team has a monster run or a monster come up. But Milwaukee is still a better team than us as presently constructed. Having somebody like Mizorowski that you can pitch, they still got Freddie Peralta, haven't traded him. They still got that dominant bullpen. I wanted the Chicago Cubs to make moves that pushed them ahead of the Brewers. Those moves aren't there. They have not made one single solitary move to me that says, oh, wow, okay, that move pushes you past the Brewers. You will be able to beat them. The Cardinals are punting on the season already. The Pirates are the Pirates. The Reds will be a formidable team. They'll be fun to watch this season too. But the Chicago Cubs have not made a single solitary move that pushes them past the Brewers to make you think that they can beat the Brewers in a 7-game series, to make you think that they're a shoe-in to win the division. The Kyle Tucker move last year made really everybody feel like the Chicago Cubs should win the division. Now, albeit Kyle Tucker got injured and, hey, things happen. But the lack of urgency from this organization when it comes to making moves that will push us ahead of our competition within the division and keep us right there neck to neck with the Dodgers, with the Phillies, with the Mets. It's alarming. It's really alarming. So what do, guys? We hope. We hope the Chicago Cubs have Matt Shaw comes out and has a season like what PCA had last year. We hope that, Owen Casey turns into a superstar. We hope that Kevin Alcantara can add something to the team. We hope that Jackson Wiggins plays out and becomes that amazing pitcher. We hope these things, but there is no guarantee. And as of right now, your window is steadily closing. Championship windows, whether that be division titles, whether that be World Series berths, whether that be conference championships, whatever, those windows are few and far in between because somebody is always making plans to get better. Unless you're the Pirates, then they're never making plans to get better. But just the lack of urgency from Jed Hoyer, from Carter Hawkins, from Tom Ricketts is just something to me that I just don't understand. I just don't get it. And I wanted to come on and I wanted to rant and rave, but at the same time, y'all, at this point, it's almost to the point like, what do you expect? This is exactly what we expected it to be. The Chicago Cubs whiff once again. Swing and miss on another potential game changer. We'll see what they do. But listen, that's my time for today. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let your voice be heard below. What are your thoughts on the Chicago Cubs not signing Tatsuya Imai to a very, very team-friendly deal, the type of deal the Chicago Cubs actually want to sign players to, but still unwilling to sign them to that deal because the annual average value was not where they wanted it to be. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys comment on this video. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Remember, the Chicago Cubs Central is your #1 spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Till next time, go Cubs, go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.